Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua tonight. Now, Jake Paul is 12-1, has recently beaten a 39-year-old Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Anthony Joshua is 36, 6'6", 245, and a two-time heavyweight champion, bro. Here's what the usually staid Wall Street Journal wrote about this fight. Is Jake Paul about to get pulverized in the ring? Nick, you had your questions about the legitimacy of this fight. Jake Paul was very fired up about people questioning the fight, said he would sue people, and he said some swear words as well. Where are you? You're in a real crisis here, whether you want to put some cash on this.
The decision has been made.
Oh, no.
The decision has
It's
been
already
made.
been played?
Joshua by knockout at minus 380. Listen, this will either be the greatest sports bet I ever made or maybe the last. But there will be no in between because I don't. Listen, Anthony Joshua got crushed by Dubois in his last fight. He got knocked down 3 times. But Dubois is excellent. Dubois can't beat Usyk, and Joshua can't beat Usyk. Nobody can beat Usyk. But so they're both of Dubois and Joshua have lost a couple times to Usyk. But aside from that, he's excellent. Anthony Joshua is excellent. And here's the key thing: he's a professional heavyweight. And meanwhile, Jake Paul is like a light heavyweight at best. Was not even cruiserweight. And he's not a pro. And Anthony Joshua is motivated because I think it's Turki Al-Sheikh, the guy who's putting on all the big boxing stuff, has got a huge potential 9-figure payday for him after this that I think probably loses some of its luster to Mr. Al-Sheikh if he loses to this clown.
It could go to Jake Paul.
So he's got to win. And he knocks people out. And again, folks out there, I don't give gambling advice except for Nick's picks. But I just don't understand how this goes any way other than Anthony Joshua knocking Jake Paul unconscious in the middle of the ring. I just don't understand any other way for this fight to go, bro.
Jake Paul fought one professional heavyweight, Tommy Fury, and lost.
And that was a light heavyweight,
Tyson
right?
Fury.
I thought he was a light heavyweight when he fought him. Yeah.
Maybe light.
Yeah.
But Tommy Fury's not a good professional boxer, and he beat Jake Paul. So that's what we're like. That's what if Tommy Fury was fighting Anthony Joshua, I don't even know if that fight would never even happen. All right, but Anthony Joshua better knock him out, and fairly quickly, 2-3 rounds for boxing, because if this is an actual competitive fight and it's real. This is terrible for boxing because we've always been like, yeah, there's people that can fight, random human beings can fight, but not professional fighting, not like a boxer. And if you take this dude who just picked up boxing a few years ago, has never fought anybody even close to the class of Anthony Joshua, and he actually gives him some trouble, that will be, and I agree with it, I can't fathom it. It better not happen. Anthony Joshua has the whole boxing world on his shoulders. He better knock this dude out.
Especially, Greg, it also would speak to why do we have weight classes? Because this was supposed to be against Tank Davis. And Tank got in some legal trouble, and so they had to be pulled out of it. But like, if you can't have been preparing to fight Tank Davis and then be able to fight Anthony Joshua if Anthony Joshua is actually trying to win, which, again, my kid's college education is banking on that he's trying to win.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been listening to a lot of interviews, and Cassius Chaney, a guy who Anthony Joshua was scheduled to fight in Saudi, he ends up being the sparring partner for Jake Paul. So he was talking about Jake Paul and him being a little more athletic than what he anticipated. Now this is a professional boxer that's going to fight AJ, obviously in Saudi, and he talks about he didn't give a whole lot, but he was saying he's a former wrestler. He can move. The ring is 24 feet, so a lot more space. So maybe he might try to run away. But if Anthony Joshua is to connect it should be over.
Yeah.
So he said that
he didn't say that part, but he was just saying
up if you're
he was
sparring
speaking. That would be. But he was speaking to just the professionalism of which Jake Paul has put forth, like him bringing in other heavyweight boxers and to
he
spar
takes
against.
it seriously.
All that. That's
credit.
great. But if Anthony Joshua, to your point,
if he don't knock the
you're talking about him
daylights
potentially
out of him.
losing to a cruiserweight. You can't take boxing
who's not
serious.
even a good cruiserweight.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't take.
It hurt the MMA when he beat Tyron Woodley. I mean, even though Woodley had retired, he was a former champ. And I get it, it's not a straight boxer, but still, that hurt the MMA.
Did it though?
I think so. Now they're still making their money,
They seem
but
to be doing okay.
yeah, I'm just saying, it just he better knock this dude flat out.
Jake Paul weighed in at 216. Anthony Joshua weighed in at 243.
Well, he had to be
thinking
under 245.
I know that actually
They
made it
put that
backfire. They
in
said he
there.
was like walking around at 290.
Yeah, no, Jake
he
Paul's
looks
smart.
Joshua looks really good right now too.
But he dropped a lot of weight. How quickly does that sap? I mean,
I'm just letting you guys know.
no,
training.
you
You
better
guys,
not
you guys
lose.
thought I was in bad shape after this.
Can I tell you something about the Jags?
What?
Like most of America, I just don't care
See, that's
at all.
When I watch this team, there's nothing that just jumps out to me that says, man, this team is amazing.
I don't.
They
like
want some.
well, KW.
I don't like that.
It's all good.
That you
gotta
I
be
mean, you
hated by
did say
somebody.
it.
I'd rather not.
well, then why do you? But then
You
I mean,
said it.
It was
You
supposed to be
Bear.
pro-Texans,
No.
and unfortunately it came out as very anti-Jags. And I know sports media handbook, I'm supposed to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you play your games
This
in
is
London. I don't.
competitive sports debate.
It's not competitive sports debate. I don't like the Jags.
Wildes,
Great, it lit up the Jets.
we're in this together.
You haven't talked about the Jags.
No, and every time I
Positively.
try
That's
to,
not
you
true.
get mad at
3
me.
years.
Every
And
time I
now, all of
try
a sudden,
to,
I
you
like
talk
the
about
Jags.
some
I like
meeting
Travis.
we supposedly
Not true.
had.
No, because I like that. When Mac Jones was on, I was like, oh, Brian Thomas Jr.
All right, can I answer this question?
No, we're doing a full read.
Okay.
Jags are rolling. The Prince is coming off a 6-touchdown performance. They're underdogs against the Broncos team that simply does not lose at home. 12 straight wins. What can Jacksonville prove with a win on Sunday?
That they're legit Super Bowl contenders. If they go into Denver and win, they also will have a real shot at the 1 seed. Now, I don't think they'll get it because I think Denver, what looked like it was going to be a tough final 2 weeks, not so much now because next week for Denver is Kansas City, and then week 18 is a Charger game that might mean a lot for the Chargers, or for the Chargers might mean literally nothing. They might be not able to win the division and locked into the playoffs if we think Phillip Rivers and the Colts aren't going to go on a streak. So I wouldn't say they're going to get the 1 seed, but they'd be alive for it. But when you have seen, and I know people get mad at me about this, there have been stretches where Trevor Lawrence has looked like an elite quarterback. Now, they have been far too intermittent for a guy of his pedigree, for the number 1 pick, a guy of his salary, but it is not as if we haven't ever seen him play at a super high level for an extended period of time. We have. We also have seen him play in the playoffs, and weird first playoff game with the terrible first half and the perfect second half. And the second playoff game in Arrowhead against the Chiefs, he played really well. It was just up against a better team. When we say we have this wide open AFC, if the Jags get to 11-4 by beating the number 1 team in the conference on the road, you've got to take them seriously.
Greg was having a fit when you said something about Trevor.
because I'm like a lot of that can apply to Daniel Jones, but that's not Daniel Jones' topic.
Wow.
Anyway,
Love it.
I'm just saying.
Greg.
So
Show me the 7th and MVP.
no, I want
Daniel
to. Oh
Jones.
my.
Just show it to
Is that even a
Show
fit?
me.
Exactly.
Show me.
I don't
I
even
didn't
know
know
if
that
that's
was a thing.
factual. I don't know if that's a Nick fact or what.
I know it's in Pro Football Reference.
So I don't know. And this is a serious question. You believe that the Denver Broncos can win the Super Bowl?
But grudgingly, I have to acknowledge it seems to be possible.
Yeah.
I
mean,
That's the
so
longest
that-
yes
yeah.
I've
Yeah,
ever
but he's there. It's been a while.
This is the game where I was saying, even earlier in the week, if they beat the Broncos, okay, all bets are on. This will make me believe and start to give this team some credibility of, okay, they actually can win these types of games because of what I believe the Broncos are. because I don't believe the Jags are that yet, because I haven't seen Trevor Lawrence do it against, albeit he's playing great, I haven't seen him play the way that we just saw last week, obviously against the Jets.
Against the best teams.
Yeah,
they
against
were
the best
winning
teams.
despite him.
If he goes into Mile High and plays great and they win, he doesn't even have to play the way he did last week. If he goes in there and he's the reason why they win, of course, this is a team that can cause a lot of problems in the postseason.
You guys are right, and I know all of us, even Nick, we look at the Jags and we look at Trevor and feel like, even if you think he's on the rise, he's not playing well enough to lead a team to the Super Bowl. But Bo Nix, have we seen enough from him? C.J. Stroud?
Yes.
You know, Drake May. But seriously, like, we haven't seen any of these guys. And then you got Rodgers and older guys. Lamar's had a bad season. So, I think if they win, yes, I agree with you guys. They are a contender. They pounded the Chargers. They beat Indianapolis. They beat Kansas City, San Francisco, Houston, and Carolina. I mean, those are some good teams. And I will say this. I'm more interested in if Trevor Lawrence plays great and continues this string of great games, even if they lose like a close game, I will be like, the Jags might be able to do something in the playoffs.
And by the way, playing great against the Broncos pass defense just means...
Yeah, it doesn't mean lighting them up for like 4 touchdowns.
Avoid the
absolutely.
mistake. And so in the thing, because Jags-Texans is a very likely round 1 playoff matchup. Jags-Chargers is a very likely... Those are the 2 most likely round 1 opponents. To your point, they annihilated the Chargers. The Texans, they beat them once. And the second time... They were up 26-0 entering the fourth and then melted down, but they thoroughly outplayed them in both those games.
Bo Nix is still 22-9 as a starter. He's going to be, if he wins this game, he'll be 1 behind Russell Wilson for the most wins in his first 2 seasons. One of the strangest plays of the season. Darnold down 2, throws this pass backwards. Jared Verse gets his hand on it. Since it's backwards, it's a fumble. So when Zach Charbonnet grabs the ball, he actually scores.
He had no idea.
First of all, it's a rules flaw. Rules flaw, so they have to fix it. Because ever since the Holy Roller, there's been a rule that on 4th downs, you can't advance a fumble. For the reason that rule exists, of course, should apply to 2-point conversions. It's just an oversight that it doesn't. So that's first of all, but whatever, rules flaw is rules flaw. Here are my other major issues with it. They are claiming this is still live and that's why he gets to pick it up. If one of the Rams, when this ball's rolling on the field, clocks Zach Charbonnet and dives on the ball, it's a flag.
Oh, yeah.
The whistle is blown, which actually doesn't matter, but you can't say this is a clear and obvious recovery within the scope of the play because every single person on that field thought the play was over. He wasn't picking that ball up because this might be worth 2 points. That's my second issue.
But
go ahead.
Let's say, because that's an interesting point. If a Ram, like you said, clocks Charbonnet, grabs the ball, there probably is a flag initially. But when
I don't know.
This was a while before they realized.
But replay can't retract flags.
Then there would also be like a fight.
Here's the other problem. The other problem. This wasn't challenged, and it's not a scoring play, so it's not automatically reviewed.
So it's not because it didn't score.
No,
so it's
this
not
was technically a replay assist thing.
Okay.
And it's not a scoring play? It is a scoring play.
But
they didn't score. No, they don't. This is not automatically reviewed.
But they scored points.
No, Brew, I'm just telling you, it was not. This does not qualify as an automatic review. Automatic review is if someone scores. They
don't know the rule. I'm just saying they scored points on this.
Brew, and I'm not trying to be rude. I do know the rule. This is not an automatically reviewed thing.
But they reviewed it, didn't they?
They did replay assist, which they said they would never do under circumstances like this. They did it anyway.
Can I ask a quick question again? Just because I do think it's interesting. If it was a handoff and the running back fell down short, and
you have to challenge that.
It has to be challenged.
That you have to challenge it. The whole point is this is a challengeable play, but The Seahawks didn't challenge it because nobody watching the game or playing in the game thought this was a live ball. And so I don't like any single piece of it. Now, the Rams have themselves to blame for losing the game because they had plenty of opportunities after this. But this is in the ongoing creep of replay, which is supposed to make things better. This is not within the spirit of when they said, hey, we're going to add this thing called the replay assist so we can quickly fix clear and obvious errors without having to waste time of a challenge. Nobody thought that meant 3 minutes after an incomplete pass, we're going to find out actually it was a successful 2-point conversion. So I hate all of it, to be clear.
I mean, it was bizarre, and I think we all join McVay in saying we've never seen anything like this. So I agree with that. My feeling is if it is the rule, then okay. I mean, I'm actually glad it happened because it helped it make it one of the greatest, maybe the greatest game this season so far. But, I mean, it's strange. Charbonnet, credit to him. I think Greg will address that. But, well,
that's interesting.
Credit to him. He obviously had no idea.
Yeah, when you say credit, it felt like he was
Greg
just.
will address it. Greg will address it.
So what is always talked about in locker rooms, and coaches harp on this, when you don't know and there's a ball rolling around on the ground, go cover it. Go pick it up. Somebody cover the ball. Like that is specifically when you're talking offensive or defensive guys, you want to be the clear and obvious guy that possesses the ball. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Charbonnet knows exactly what's going on, but he did follow Rule 1.
Right.
Cover the ball, pick the ball up. And if one of the Rams had picked this ball up, no bueno. We're good. They win the game.
That's right.
No issue. No. That didn't happen, and I get all of what you're saying.
Here's the other thing if the Ram picks it up. If a Ram picks it up and just starts running towards the other end, because that's a live ball, they could get 2 points themselves and go up 4. That's not being allowed because they blew the whistle. Like the Rams are not going to be allowed to advance that.
With the whistle?
Because according to Terry McAuley on Twitter today, because this was, he said, immediate within the framework of the play. But this was, to me, not immediate and not within the framework.
Well, it wasn't immediate.
It wasn't immediate.
It definitely wasn't immediate.
I think they got it wrong, and I also think this. If we are going to, I think this is fair, the things that like, oh man, technically this should be this, but nobody thinks it, the only way you should be able to get a benefit from that is if someone on your coaching staff is savvy enough in real time to recognize it and you challenge it. If Mike McDonald had realized, oh man, you know what? Worth risking one of my timeouts in a challenge. Let me toss it. Then I still don't love it, but like then at least it feels like they earned it. Instead, it felt to me like if there had been less of a TV delay between 2-point conversion and kickoff, they wouldn't have gotten it.
Can I open it up pretty wide? There's been times in my sports fandom experience, the tuck rule being a pretty obvious one. Dave Roberts stole second base, where one singular play was like, ooh, I don't know if that was supposed to happen. And because it did, it feels like we're the team that is now going to win. Does anyone else subscribe to that theory, and did anyone else get that feeling about the Seahawks? And then on the opposite side, Jaquaski Tart, Les Rams like, oh, maybe things broke the wrong for us at this moment, and we're kind of getting screwed.
I might have felt that way if this wasn't with 6 minutes left in a game that went to overtime. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't feel, I don't think it's fair to say, and I don't think anyone is saying, that had this play not happened, Seattle definitely loses. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Seattle still would have been down 2 without the ball. They would have been in, but they ended up, as we know, getting the ball back.
No, but
after this.
It's a feel thing. It's more. It's
I get
more.
What you're saying.
It's a like when the Chiefs blocked that Broncos kick. I'm like, oh, Chiefs are going back to Super Bowl. Like it's just they're just something to it.
Can I ask just one other question about this? If this, let's say the 2-point conversion ended up winning them the game, the very clear and obvious catch to the tight end, that was this. That was to tie the game. And that this play happens in overtime on the final to win it. I'm just curious. How long is the NFL telling us they can be interviewing the coach, everything. Because this was about 3 minutes. So if this is the final play of the game, are they retroactive while Sean McVay's talking to Al Michaels or whomever, being like, actually, we just reviewed it, and as it turns out, Seattle won. Or like, it just feels like it was too cute.
It was crazy. It was bizarre.
But
there was obviously somebody up there saying, hold on, that was not a forward pass.
Also, I loved it.
Why?
I just love sport.
I love.
It
I
was
just love the chaos
the
of the
rule.
details.
Yeah,
It was the rule. I mean, right?
I go back to like the Calvin Johnson.
Thank you.
The catch, no catch.
Right.
And it's like, it just changed everything. This, we'll never see it again.
Probably not.
Because it's going to be definitive across the board. Like, very few people would pick up on what the rules are and if it was right or wrong or whatever. But now that Calvin Johnson rule, when he caught that ball, and I still call it a catch, yes.
Right.
When he caught that ball against the Bears and set it down, gets up. Like, that changed everything. Now we have the catch, no catch, survive the fall, all these different things. They're going to implement something to where it's crystal clear across the board.
Drew, do you also agree that they are going to add the rules on fourth down fumbles are the same on fourth down 2-point conversions? You cannot advance a fumble on fourth down because of the holy roller, right? Like only the fumbling player can advance it, which is why sometimes, right? Like the logic behind it is the exact same. And I was shocked that the holy roller rule didn't apply here, but
the tough thing is when the play is blown dead, it should be dead.
Yeah, the Rams aren't allowed to hit the Seahawks guy.
Or like the play is blown dead before he recovers the ball.
Like
so
if they both dove on the ball.
That would have felt more fair.
I know, but it would have felt.
But
like
but what I'm saying is, if this was in the field of play, and no one covered the ball, we couldn't decide anything. It would be like replay the down or whatever the case is. But you can't, because the play was blown dead. Does this?
Yes.
Are you following?
Yeah, and because it's the moment he holds the ball, the play's over because he's in the end zone.
You know what?
I just
Colin Coward says, I root for interesting, and I love it.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.